Okay, today, my name's Marty Martin. I'm the Director of Process Control Technology at Liquide. And what I'm going to talk to you guys about today is we are taking a massive step change for our operational excellence. We need it for our customers, we need it for ourselves to stay relevant in our industry. So that's what I'm going to discuss today. That's kind of what that slide says, so I'll move on. Okay, this basically says I've been doing this for a long time, not much more. I finally get to a point in my career where I get money to do the cool things that I want to do. So I'm very excited about it. Air Liquide is all over the place. Okay, we're currently the world's largest supplier of industrial gases. We've got major pipelines in the US and some in Europe. It's very important that we embrace this type of change because our customers need us to be nimble. They need us to be adaptable. We have to embrace this. So I would just want to give you the perspective of where we are, and we're in 80 countries. We've got over 57,000 people. It's quite large, okay, and many millions of revenue. So let's go to the next one here. Okay, NEOS. This is the corporate program. This originated out of our the home country, which is France. What is NEOS? NEOS stands for change. It stands for youthful. Why are we doing this? Okay, we're doing this because we realized that we got a little bit out of date. We need to step up our game. We need to keep up with industry. Industry 4.0 is here. We need to be able to keep in step. Okay, how is this going to impact us? This is a complete mental transformation as well. We've got people that need to step up their game. And the focus areas, the strategic pillars include connecting. Okay, we want to connect much more with our customer. We want to have a continued best-in-class customer experience. Performing. We need to perform economically because for survival of the company, for shareholders, it's very important. Open innovation. Okay, we want to start leveraging some of this digital technology that's now becoming more mainstream. Okay, we also want to develop partnerships outside our group and outside of our core technologies. So we want to do this so that it's all to benefit our customers and our shareholders. And we need a networked organizational skills so we have better distributed and exchange globally and regionally, and it will enable us to strengthen our proximity to our customers and markets and actually help accelerate our business decision making. This process involves a real strong vision. Okay, you've got a very large company that you've got to get people aligned. It has to come from the top, and it has to be clear, and it has to be concise, because in order to get the step change, you need to get this message across. It also is having the proper roadmap. What does that mean? Okay, a roadmap is to help guide people, explain to them where they need to go, what do they need to do, what's expected of them. We've got to revamp our structure, and we've got to redo our workflows. We've got to reinvent them so that we're more nimble. And looking at from a future point of view, we have to start using the big data. Okay, we've got to start leveraging that on a broader scale so that we can make much better decisions, so that we can ensure constant, strong reliability. In reality, we are a company that supplies a chemical that's needed by everybody, many in the industry. We just want to be that silent partner that is always on. That spigot is always on, and it's going to require some change. Okay, we're going to try to drive our performance through people. People are very important in this. We've got to hire the right people. We've got to retrain our current staff. We've got to get people aligned, and that's not easy when you've got hubs all around the world that have to understand the same message. Okay, we got to redefine our process too. We have to be more nimble. We have to look at ways to cut waste, and we have to be very efficient. We also have to be very strategic in our thinking. We have to look at analytics. We have to take the data that we pull up from the systems, okay? IIoT, what is that? Bring it up, but you got to do something with it. It's not just getting, I've been connected to, I have to manage over 7 different types of control systems. I can get data from anywhere, but doing something with that is different. That's the difference. We need to be smarter about our data. Okay, a key component of the NEOS program is what we call our Smart Innovative Operation, okay? We call it SIO, that's our acronym, that's what we use, but I wanted to define it. What does that mean? We've got to manage our assets. What does managing our assets mean? Making sure that they stay running, that we control when they go up and when they go down, okay? Our customers expect us to be on. We have to manage that. Interacting with our customers, okay, being able to leverage new ideas, serve them better, give them more options with us. And the last is leveraging our ecosystems. This is kind of the digital ecosystem. We've got to start utilizing our data better. We have to start applying BI to our data. We have to put systems in place that show a good, strong roadmap for the future. And we got to start now. We can't wait until it's too late, because some of these programs are expensive. But you have to look at, it's going to be much more expensive if you're outmoded. Okay, why SIO? I mentioned we want to serve our customers better, okay? That's very important. We need to be reliable and adaptable. Improve our opportunities to our customer. They can come to us and we can give them better solutions. And we need to create value, clearly. Okay, our customers expect it, our shareholders expect that. Okay. We're going to leverage that through digitalization. Okay, that is a big deal at Air Liquide. It's a traditionally conservative, big French company. Getting to Industry 4.0 is going to take a big effort. And so we're focused on getting that. Our competition's doing it. Sometimes our competition's been doing things that we should be doing. And sometimes we're doing things they should be doing. But reality is everybody's trying to hit this Industry 4.0. Customers are looking at us as well. They want to see, are we innovating or are we just stagnant? Because when problems happen, if we're not showing innovation and trying to be better, it's easy for them to walk away. We've got tons of data, just like a lot of people in the industry. What are we going to do with that data? Okay. We're already putting a bunch of it to work, and we're making some good decisions, and we're also saving some good money so far. So how do we get there? The U.S., this is the U.S. vision. We have 3 focus areas. Okay, Air Liquide is, there's 4 major hubs around the world. The U.S. is one of them. Hubs are the Americas, if you will. And they're made up of clusters, the U.S. cluster, South America, Central America. Okay. We all are expected to align to a vision. but not every story is exactly the same. This is the US version, okay, but they're very similar. Okay, we have to do a foundational shift with our control systems and with remote monitoring. We've made a lot of acquisitions. We've got a whole lot of different systems out there that are out of date. I've been working with Air Liquide so long, I'm replacing some of the things I put in 20 years ago. And it's kind of humbling when you look at it, it's like, what was I thinking? But the reality is, that's what we had. That was the best we had. So now we have better technology, easier to use, and the new guys on the block look at the old stuff we did and say, how could you work with that? I said, well, that's what we had. We're migrating towards what we call partially or minimally attended plants. Okay, as experience base is retiring, it's difficult to replace those people. Through digitalization, we can create virtual operations, virtual operators, as long as we instrument it right, and we can control that in central locations. And we can do it well, and we can do it reliably. So what are the 5 levers that we need to enable this type of transformation? Certainly plant automation. We've got a lot of older systems that have to get up to new standards, and we need newer standards for those upgrades. Data management. Okay, we've got all this data everywhere. How are we going to organize it? So that's not easy, but we're learning how to do that, and there's lots of good help out there. Data analytics, that's a home run right now for us. The amount of money we're saving on prediction of major failures is huge for us. And when you consider a 3-story compressor, you don't have that in the backyard. Okay, the spare part might be away, some ways away. If you know that something might be happening, you can start to predict or plan around that, and that's huge for our customers. That's massive for those guys. We've got to improve our work processes. We're trying to digitize them. How do you capture experience? How do you capture the tribal knowledge? Starting up plants, for example. I don't think any 2 people do it the same in Air Liquide, and I've sat through many of them. Even though they're written procedures, you need to capture that stuff, okay? How do you do that? Well, you try to get it digitally, and you align yourself with some of the good stuff out there, the good packages. Asset management and expertise. We've been putting smart transmitters on our plants for a long time. We haven't used it quite yet. I don't think it was exactly where we want it to be, but now we're going to start doing that. Now we're going to start getting a handle on module failures, because we've got plants, a couple hundred all over the US. Is it a localized problem, or is it a supply problem with respect to failures? Okay, now that we pump it up to systems like Maximo, we can see that much easier. So we can get that data, we can get that data out of the system in a much better way than we used to be able to do it. SIO is comprised of streams. They call them SIO streams. There's 5, but I've only listed 4 here. And I'll mention the 5th one, and it is probably one of the most important. It's human resource stream. You have to have the right people. You have to have the vision of who's going to help get you there, the new talent that comes in, retraining people that have been with the company for quite some time that need that push, that need, you can still get a lot of value from. We need to take care of those people and get them to continue to help Air Liquide. So that's not mentioned here, but I wanted to mention it because it's very important. So SIO Perform. The SIO Perform is one of our streams that, let's see here. Actually, let me go to SIO Predict because I like that one better. SIO Predict is predictive analytics. Anybody can catch that from that. But that's the real moneymaker, huge for us. Having predictive analytics on all of our major pieces of equipment is major. We're seeing it on a weekly basis. We've set some pretty high numbers up there to capture for predict. The optimization, what does optimization mean? Optimization is clusters of plants looking at how are we going to best run these plants. Okay, these plants, what makes sense from a financial point of view? We've got lots of pipeline plants. We've got the largest one in the world in the U.S. for industrial gases. How do you best run all of those? How do you optimize it for the given situation? That's extremely important. And the SIO perform is basically what we call the best economic point. How do you know what's good? Okay, you have to know what's good, and you have to know where your bar is, so you have to constantly challenge that bar through all operating ranges of your plant. Very, very important. The foundation of all that is SIO Drive. SIO Drive is the day-to-day operations. It's the 24/7. How are we going to improve that experience? We've got to stop requiring operators and people to constantly tinker with the plant or have to tinker with the plant. We can get around that by properly designing our systems. Okay, we can take some of that knowledge on the day-to-day operation and put it into digital solutions. That's my area right now of emphasis for this particular talk today. So in order to get our step change in operational excellence, we need to be connecting, okay, connecting with our people, leveraging that experience. We have to be proactive. That's in the predict side. Proactive is, I see a problem or a potential problem. I'm not going to wait. I can plan. There might be turnarounds in a particular area, but that one big machine on the plant that's running is telling you, you better deal with that or consider that, change a turnaround, because if you go down and that goes down, you're affecting your customer, and that's the worst possible scenario to be in. Digitalization. Digitalization, what is that? Okay, it means a lot of things, but in the drive category, you have to do it securely. We know that. Okay, that's a big change for us because traditionally we have business IT. We do have industrial IT, but it's not as big a group. I'm seeing that grow bigger and bigger. It also helps that the CIO of the company is an ex-controls guy, and every time I walk on the floor and we talk, he's like, give Marty what he needs. So I love that. What kind of hardware are we going to use? What kind of IIoT platform? All important. Okay, I talk to a lot of vendors, a lot of people about IIoT. There's so many good solutions out there, but we got to pick some. We've got to focus on what's going to help us. The focus areas, modernization of control systems. I have 7 different control systems. Most of them are very, very old. We're losing that expertise. I've got the person in Air Liquide that has the highest number of years. He works for me. He's been working for the company for 46 years. He supports about 3 of them. When he says adios, which is coming up soon, that's what's going to happen to the support of those systems. It's going to be much more difficult. So we've got a plan for that. We're putting a big emphasis on the modernization. Okay, that's a big part of my program, but I'm not going to talk about that in detail today. Where I want to focus is virtual operators, because that's value. That's leveraging expertise. You've got to get the expertise out of your operations people, out of your engineering, and you got to put it in a format that works consistently, repeatably, and hopefully with the new packages, self-documenting, because I'm sure you guys run into it. It's difficult when you have design documents separate from your system documents. Things get out of whack. That's what actually happened in a lot of the modernization of our control systems. Because I kept telling management, I swear I did all the documentation. I swear it's all there. Problem is because there's in so many different places, not everybody would update the documents over the years. So you go into a brownfield, that's more expensive. I'll take a greenfield any day. I'll take a flat piece of ground and build it up. Brownfield, you got to rip out. You got to try to figure out if the new stuff will work with the old stuff. And then you've got documents that are lying to you. They're not there. You have to go and look at that stuff. And you have to spend time. And when you go back to management and say, well, we need to spend X thousands of dollars to see if the documents we have are actually right, they're looking at me like, why? We did the plant. Well, you know, we tried that once, and thank goodness it was a small plant, so the pain was not so bad. Alarm management and trip abatement, absolutely necessary when you create what we call lead centers. We're pulling operations, local operations out to big lead centers. You have to have alarms under control, and you have to have your system catch false positives. You have to keep this stuff going, because we're looking at treating incidences anytime that you have to look into the control system outside of normal as an incident that needs to be reviewed, so we can improve the overall experience at the lead center. Because when you got 18 to 20 plants you're looking at, you don't have time to drill down into the details of every plant. They have to run well, alarm when it's important, and if it goes down, it better be for real. Virtual operators, this is important for us. We use advanced process control, the MVPC, advanced process control. We like it because it's easier to teach the new guys, new ladies coming up through the controls world. I can give them classes, we can show them matrix. It really doesn't take that long. You use industry terms, they can Google it, because everybody likes to Google stuff, and if you start making up your own terms, they get confused. But with MVPC, if you use a good package, it's pretty easy to get training. It helps us to adjust to our plant disturbances, and we're constantly changing loads on plants to meet our customer demands. We don't want to run and vent if we can help it, because it raises the cost of our a cubic foot of gas. We want to avoid that. The next point is modular procedure automation for our equipment and plant startups. Extremely important for knowledge capture, because there's a lot of tribal knowledge out there, even though we have documents. This forces people to make it right, because when we hit a button and it doesn't work, we're going to keep doing it till we get it right. So that's very important. Consistent and repeatable. I've been in the control rooms when our OCC, our operations control centers, calling up the plant and say, hey, I need you to go down to 350,000. They're at 420. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll get on that. And then they go back to talking about LSU football. You know, problem is because it was painful, because they have to sit and babysit it and watch it, and they typically go slow. We need these things to go fast. Gives us new levels of flexibility. This is the last slide. I just wanted to let you know that here is who we're partnering with for some of our key initiatives. Okay, Yokogawa has the largest impact on our company in the controls world, and it's a natural to use them in advanced process control. They have a super package. We like it because it's DCS agnostic, because for all of the acquisitions and the other systems, I don't have to change the way I do things, and I can train people. That's big. They have got global support, and they have the new features that make it a really valuable product. Remote auto start, you know, it's a takeoff on ISA 106, which is for the batchy people, it's S88, just for continuous processes. I did a lot of batch. I look at this stuff and it just makes way too much sense for me. My dilemma is trying to get all my continuous guys to say, it's okay. Just because it originated in batch, it doesn't mean it has to be batch. There's some great things. It allows us to do knowledge capture. It allows us to do digitized SOPs. So that's really all I have to say. I appreciate you guys attending and listening, but we got a big step change ahead of us, and we're doing a bunch of it now. We're year 2 into a 5-year period, and so we're making it. We're doing some good things, but it's going to be a lot of energy. So.